Good morning, good evening, and to some, good night. It's 12:37 a.m. and it is another sleepless night. As I look out of my window, I see the abysmal darkness of winter, and I wonder, what do other people dream while I'm awake? What do other people dream when I am bound to my own mind? What is it to taste the sweetness of sleep and to know the embrace of a lover's warm touch? And yet I am reminded, however, the curse of the one who dreams, the curse of the dreamer, to see the world that they truly desire, and then to have it fade away when they inevitably wake up. We all have dreams and ambitions, goals and desires. But slowly as we age, time takes away those wanton dreams, those visions of the night, the mistresses that visit us at midnight. We fall in love with an idea, only to slowly lose it. I think that's the curse of a dream. That's the curse of hope. We see a world that will never be ours. But the alternative is me. Someone who can't sleep at all. Someone who wants to know what it is to be lost in the dream of love, to be lost in the moment when you see eternity stretched out before your eyes. You can't help but want to blink. You can't help but want the lie. Will the truth free us? Will it bind us? Will it blind us? The truth of the sun is overwhelming. It's hard to look directly at it, but because of it, we can see everything else around it. When we dream, we see another world. But sometimes the rarity of life is too hard to witness. So we close our eyes, and the world drops dead. Everything fades away. Our fears, our worries, all melt into the idealistic. And when I talk of dreams, I not just mean the ones at night, because obviously there are nightmares. I mean your ambitions, your aspirations, your hopes. When you close your eyes and you picture that finish line, running and running and running, and all your labor has finally paid off. But when we get there, that's when it's over. What do dreams dream? I know that it says, all that we think and seem is but a dream within a dream. Misquote, but whatever. But what do dreams dream? When you reach that end game, when you finally get there, and your dream becomes reality, in a way the dream crumbles. It loses its glory, and so we have to dream again. We never wake up. We eternally keep closing our eyes because even the glory of a dream becomes mundane once it's achieved. It's that want for never having anything that we truly desire. We We truly decide to keep running, to keep going. You know, I often wonder if Gatsby had gotten Daisy, whether there still would have been an infinite void that he desired to fill, a craving still not sated, a thirst not quenched, a want not granted. When we grasp the dream and we touch it, is it as pleasant as we first hoped it would be? And while you guys are dreaming, and I'm sitting here awake and pondering these questions, I wonder if it would be better to be caught in the delusion, or to see the nothingness that is the night. I don't know. And perhaps we'll never know. But dreams are wonderful. Dreams are the delusions we give ourselves to continue. I don't know. Why would you want to continue if you knew you were lying to yourself? Or is the sun really beautiful? And although we can't look at it, we look at the result of it, just like the world. You know, the delusions of our minds, the things that we tell ourselves are one going to happen. We know that that's a lie, but it's birthed from the reality of this world. And this reality is too much to look at. So we look at a dream. Well, that's not to say that this reality isn't beautiful. The sun is beautiful, it's overpowering, it's too bright. But the world it allows us to see is a result of it. We see the beauty of this world because of the the rawness of the sun, the rawness of reality that burns our eyes, that sears our minds and scorches our ambitions. And then we look away and we go, oh wow, the dream is rather lovely though. But without reality, the dream wouldn't exist. And if the dream becomes reality, then it just becomes another thing that's too hard to look at. That we have it all and we're still dissatisfied. That's a terrible thought. We don't like that thought. So we have to distract ourselves again with something else, a new fantasy, a new dream to pursue. We don't want to reach the dream. We say we do. We moan that we don't have the dream. Oh, but she doesn't love me. We don't want to achieve the dream. We tell ourselves we want to achieve the dream. So if we don't want to achieve the dream, then we'd still be stuck with the dilemma of what to do. We need the dream. It fuels us. We hope that we never get there. We just like looking at it. It's just something to walk towards. And it both torments us and pleases us. It gives us immense pleasure to dream. That's why we do it every night. We close our eyes and this reality just disappears. And you're in your world, your own world that you're creating and experiencing simultaneously. Watching that job become vacant, that house with infinite doors, big mansion. And everybody loves you. But in reality, if everybody loves you, you see it with celebrities, they collapse. People always harassing them. We love you, we love you. No peace, We want to be loved. We want to be liked. But the burden that comes with being liked, the burden that comes with being loved, the reality of it isn't as charming. So we just keep closing our eyes. We keep walking along, hoping that one day this reality and this dream will just finally merge together, finally blend, as though the sun somewhat dims, so that we can look at it while also looking at the rest of the world. We want both the beauty that comes, the color of the world, and a glimpse of the sun. But I think that in itself is another dream. It's another impossibility that we desire, what we know would be chaos. And I remember once I was speaking to my friend and I was like, what's your wish? And she said to me, Samuel, I wish for world peace. And I was like, that's brilliant, but the problem is, world peace, then you've kind of got all these extra issues that comes from world peace, Suddenly there'll be a lot of people that were being born, and you'd have an increase of people and more mouths to feed, more property, more places to build, and maybe you'd go, because we're peaceful, then we could keep expanding across the galaxy. Maybe peace is what we really need. But I started thinking about peace on a global scale. No more fights, everybody's good to each other, people are happy. But I think, peace across our world would still create more problems. It's sort of like no world that doesn't ultimately come with more problems. And maybe we'd solve those problems, but then as we solved some problems, new problems would arise, and there's kind of infinite problems, and the problems create infinite dreams. And we keep dreaming, and we keep finding new things to dream about. And when I said that to her, she was like, oh, maybe that's not what's best then. But then when she asked me, I said wisdom. Because I think having something on a smaller scale that's still good can have a benefit for just the community alone. It's not so drastic. It's not so grand. But sometimes those things, those small glories, are like sunglasses. Where the world doesn't look as good. It's a bit dimmed. But you get a view of both the sun and the world. And that's just enough. Those are the moments when you get the house, and you have the kid, and you have the husband. And it's alright. There's dishes, there's mess. But you look at it, and you sigh, and you go, it's not the dream, but it's good enough. So thank you for listening. And ultimately, keep dreaming. Because while you dream, I watch the darkness. And before the light comes, my eyes close. So good night, good evening, and good morning.